I'm gonna eat pie. Can't wait.
Oh, be careful cutting the pie.
You wanna do it?
Oh. Welcome back to Alkaline TV. This is Douglas Dennis, the Alkaline Chef. Today is the day you've all been waiting for. I finally filled the spelt pie crust with pie. As you can see, this is not pumpkin pie. It is butternut squash pie because it is alkaline and it is vegan. Pumpkin is vegan, but pumpkin is hybrid. So we're using a squash. You might be able to get away with this with a buttercup squash, but I think butternut is easily available where I live. So you just cut the butternut squash in half and bake it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I baked it for 45 minutes, but one of the sides was not done yet, so I put it back in for about 15 more. So it took about an hour. And I did put a little bit of water in the tray, but I don't think you have to. And I drizzled avocado oil on top. Now this is the coconut cream whipping, and this is just a can of coconut cream and then some date sugar. Less than 1/4 of a cup. Just a little bit to give it a little bit of sweetness. Alright, here is the baked squash, and this was the next day or a couple days later. I made the squash in advance so I wouldn't have to deal with it. I also made the pie crust in advance. Alright, now we're gonna add a vanilla extract. So it's 2 cups of butternut squash, a teaspoon of vanilla, 1/2 teaspoon salt, sea salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon ginger powder. I'm adding this to the food processor. A 1/2 of a teaspoon, so that's 1/8 of a teaspoon. I have 1/8 of a teaspoon somewhere, but that's fine. And this is even less. This is like a 1/16 of a teaspoon or a pinch of cayenne, and that's optional. You can't really taste it, but adds a little bit of spice. 3 tablespoons chickpea flour. Couldn't find that 3rd tablespoon. All right. Now we're going to put 3/4 of a cup date sugar. This is powdered date sugar, but I don't think it matters. Oh yes, now I'm starting to salivate. When the date sugar comes out, you know that it's a good recipe. I'm curious to try this with date syrup and see if it tasted any different or better. But date sugar is excellent. Now this is the special kind of coconut milk I use. It's just a smaller carton than normal because they were out of the big cartons. So we're going to put 2 cups of coconut. This is very creamy coconut milk. It's creamier than average, so I wouldn't say use a different type of coconut milk. Coconut cream would be good, and if you don't have this type coconut milk, you could use super thick coconut cream and coconut water to thin it out. Look at that. Nice and thick already, but we're going to make sure we get all of it in there and add a teaspoon of agar-agar powder. This is going to make it not really like Jell-O, but it's going to hold it all together. Alright, blend it longer. I didn't show you, I blended it long and it was super smooth. Alright, now going to get every little bit of it. This is just enough for one pie, so I didn't want to let any of it go to waste. There was a lot more in there. Alright, now we're going to heat this up slowly, and just when it starts to, it's not going to really boil because it's too thick, but when it starts bubbling away, turn it off, and I sped it up here on time lapse. All you want to do is melt the agar-agar, and also heating it up will help make all these spices taste that much better. Alright, here is our crust from the last episode. Check out that video. It ended up very, very good. I was happy with the crust. I was skeptical, I'll admit, but it turned out way better than I expected. Alright, that is it, and I'm not even baking it. This is just going to go in the fridge overnight, and then we're going to eat it the next day, and I'll show you what we had for Thanksgiving. Everything was alkaline, everything was vegan. That was the avocado ranch. That was the mashed quote-unquote potatoes. They weren't potatoes, though. They were something else. There were some blooming, what are those, pearl onions? There's the pie. There was the squash soup. There was whipped coconut cream.
Oh, be careful cutting the
Oh
pie.
man, it was a feast. It was almost better than Festivus. It was the best alkaline holiday ever. There is the piece, the finally. This took me days to come up with. And wow, that whipped coconut cream just perfected it.
Yes.
There you have it. What do you think? Comment below. Are you going to try this out? It was so good. It was so light and delicious. Very tasty. Tasted like pumpkin pie, definitely. Tasted, oh man. I had it the next day also for breakfast. It was good even without whipped cream, which I used to not like pumpkin pie. It had to have whipped cream for me to eat it. But this was excellent just by itself. So I appreciate you watching till the end. Thank you so much. And if you're interested in going alkaline, there's a link in the description. I'll see you in the next video. Have an amazing day on purpose.